of our own real nature. But when we sit for meditation, unless the mind becomes absolutely tranquil, free of vrittis, it's not possible to reach that state of meditation. That's why in Yoga Sutra Patanjali, the first the sloka is Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha, complete cessation of the vrittis of the mind. That's called yoga. But when we sit and close our eyes, thousands of thoughts crowd our mind. Anyway, first important thing is to sit straight, erect, preferably on the floor. Those who can't can sit on the chair, where the back, the neck, and the head, they are in a straight line. There's certain meaning in that. And there's no time to explain. So it helps the flow of prana in the system. So it's very necessary to sit erect. By closing the eyes, at least we are shutting one indriya, the most powerful indriya. See, much more than the ear and nose, etc., the eyes have a huge range and it can see in all directions. Here and all has a limitation, but eye. So by closing the eyes, it helps concentrate better because at least one indriya we have shut. If there is silence, then ears are automatically okay. And that's why it helps. So we close our eyes. And what we do is allow our mind to wander. Let us not try to restrict our mind, try to control it. The more you try to control it, the more it would get dispersed. So for a few minutes, let us close our eyes and watch our own mind. Because this should not be done afterward during meditation. Then that will spoil the very effort at meditation. There should only a spontaneous flow of the mind towards the ideal. Initially, while beginning, we can close our eyes and allow the mind to wander. Keep ourselves as witness and see where all the mind wants to go. If you do it consistently for some months, after some time when you sit for meditation, you will feel that the mind is quietening and settling down much more quickly. Now we don't have too much of time. So for a couple of minutes, let us close our eyes and become a witness and see where all our mind wanders. So in this during whole process, till we complete with Shanti mantra, the eyes would always remain closed. It's necessary to remind ourselves of our true nature, as we saw in the class when we discussed. Giving the mind those ideas about reality, about ourselves, about true nature helps in developing this meditative awareness. For that, we can take the help of the Nirvana Ashtaka of Shankaracharya. Just one sloka I will chant for the benefit of all of us. Says, Manobudhyahankara chittani naham na cha srotra jive na cha grana netre na cha vyoma bhumi na tejo na vayu Chidanandarupa Shivoham Shivoham Chidanandarupa Shivoham Shivoham Mano Buddhyahankara Chittarinaham. I'm not the mind, buddhi, chitta, ahankara, which are all definitely various aspects of the mind itself. Nacha srotra jikhve, nacha prana netre, nacha grana netre. I am not the indriyas like eyes, ears, nose, etc. Nacha vyoma bhumi, natejo na vayu. I am not the elements like akasha, vayu, bhumi, earth, water. Who am I? Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivo. I am that ever blissful, ever auspicious. That's infinite is my nature. I am that. So remembering it, reminding ourselves of our real nature helps in meditation. Then when we sit for meditation, the first thing is to offer prayers to Guru, because we saw even in the class that the Guru, God's grace, etc., they are so important. Advaita Vedanta also accepts the tradition of gurus. So, the Guru, how he helps us is revealed in this beautiful sloka. It says, Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara, Gurureva Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. My Guru is Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara. More than that is verily the Parabrahman, the Supreme Reality. My salutations to my Guru. How does he help us? Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. My eyes which are covered by a thick covering of ajnana, by applying the collyrium of knowledge, the Guru opens my eyes. Not only that, what about our accumulated karma phalas due to several births? He also helps in that direction. Aneka janma samprapta karmendhana vidahine atmajnana pradhanena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Aneka janma samprapta. The accumulated effects of karma of numerous births, he wipes them out just as fire burns the wood. He completely burns away all our past samskaras, karma bandhanas. Salutations to such a Guru. After offering our pranams to Guru, and we also pray for the welfare of entire humanity, because our approaching God or reality, same time we should always remember the whole mankind should be happy, peaceful, and so on. So it's always customary to offer prayers. Sarve bhavantu sukinaha, sarve santu niramayaha, sarve bhadrani pashyantu ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhaved. Let everyone be happy. Let everyone hear only auspicious things. Sarve bhadrani. Then everywhere let there be no dukkha or suffering. Sarve bhavantu sukinaha, sarve santu niramayaha. Let everyone be free from any illness or diseases. Let everyone see only auspicious, hear auspicious things. And then finally, may no one suffer dukkha or sorrow. So then we can now try to go dive deep into ourselves, because in this short time it's really difficult, but still any attempt, any little effort also is really worthy. So once again we can remind ourselves of our real nature. So I will chant and we can also repeat after that, so that you also feel that vibration. Shivoham, 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 Chidanandarupoham, Chidanandarupoham, Shivoham, 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 Chidanandarupoham, Chidanandarupoham, Shuddhoham, Buddhoham, Shuddham Buddham Muktoham Nityoham Shuddham Buddham Muktoham Nityoham Shivoham Shivoham Chidanandarupoham Shivoham Shivoham Chidanandarupoham Shivoham Shivoham Chidanandarupoham Shuddham Buddham Muktoham Nityoham Shuddham Buddham Muktoham Nityoham Shivoham Shivoham Chidanandarupoham Shivoham Shivoham Chidanandarupoham Shivoham Shivoham Chidanandarupoham. Let's perceive an 8-petaled red lotus fully blossomed in our heart, in which is seated our Ishta Devata, our object of adoration and worship. Let's offer various articles of worship like Padya, Arghya, Achamaniya, Madhuparka, Punarachmaniya, Gandhatela, Snaniya, Vastra, Pushpa, Dhupa, Deepa, Nevedya. Let us offer all that and finally offer Pushpanjali at the feet of our Ishta Devata and pray that may we have unwavering devotion, faith and Shraddha in our Ishta Devata, and that we might be carried across the ocean of samsara in this birth itself, so that we don't have to come back again. So, for the next few minutes, let us contemplate the wonderful form of our Ishtadevata in our heart. We can do it silently. We can also simultaneously perform Nama Japa if you are initiated. Otherwise, contemplating the form of any divine personality, that's wonderful. Or those who are inclined to non dual ideas may think of the glow of a lamp, not the flame, but the glow, the light in their heart. They can perceive that and also concentrate on that. Or those who are inclined to form may think of the form of their Ishtadevata and completely focus on that form for the next few minutes. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Yes. Now, in case, I think, Maharajna, questions, if you have, you can.
One question on the meditation. So when a thought comes, we know that it's a thought and we either observe, we don't get carried along. But when the mind starts playing that's the awareness watching. How do we translate that thought?
When the mind
I
plays,
feel like the mind sometimes plays a trick. Instead of making a thought, the thought is now I'm the awareness. It's happening in me now.
no, see, that imagination will not last also. It will go away automatically. It's not possible to hold on to that kind of imagination for a long time. And then at that time, actually, when it happens, it will be, if it is real awareness, there will be total spontaneity and this complete kind of silence and bliss. There won't be play of thoughts at that time. So you will not be able to see separately, oh, it is happening. It will not be there at all. That kind of. So when that happens, it's absolutely without any effort or, yeah. So obviously, you know that it is just only an imagination, nothing beyond that. Yes.
We are common people who haven't experienced ourselves. I teach religious education in schools, and when I teach lessons, students just say that we don't believe in existence of God and we don't care about the teachings of the religions. It doesn't make sense to us because we don't see its relevant in the modern era. But we just want to enjoy our time. We want to do whatever is just visible in front of us. We talk to children about religion.
Yeah. See, she says in this modern world, particularly when we talk to children from this outside world, they don't believe in all this. So, how do we talk to such children? Obviously, you cannot talk all these to such children. It's not possible at all. You need a background. And at that stage of life, they have not also experienced so much of sorrow and suffering and all that to understand. See, grown up people, even if they don't believe in that kind of a God or something, this principle, the Advaitic idea, we have to transcend sorrow, suffering. And that's possible because it's easy to explain all these are all happening at the level of the mind. It's only the mind, is it not? Otherwise, how under the same circumstances, supposing I always give this example, supposing one day there's a terrible headache, one is lying in the bed, not able to do anything, and then suddenly someone very dear and near comes, and everything is set aside, and we interact, talk, do everything. At the time, there's no awareness of this pain or suffering. Then when the person goes again, the whole thing comes back. So any person with a little discerning intelligence, just a capacity to understand, can clearly feel that all these are all happening at the level of the mind only. So if one can go beyond mind, it's possible to go beyond sorrow, suffering, and all that. And everyone in this world wants peace, joy, and happiness. So for the grown-ups, even if they don't believe in a particular creedal religion and all that, it's not at all difficult to convince them about the need for a higher life, for a transcendental awareness and all that. That's not at all difficult that way. But for children, straight away, it's not possible to give them these ideas of higher religion and all that. Slowly, you can teach them about the control of the mind, how it is very necessary, how with uncontrolled mind we indulge in things which are very harmful to ourselves, just to protect ourselves, to lead a healthy life, to do well in studies, to do well in life and all that. So you need a mind which is harmonious, which is quiet and all that. So you can teach them quietness, a little of that kind of meditation where you are able to take control of your thoughts and all that. Up to that level, we can approach the children. Beyond that, unless they have that kind of a background, these things will not work, and you cannot explain to them about God or all those things.
Yesterday, Shantatmananda was telling that about spiritual heart is on the right, anatomical heart on the left. I thought our Thakur sits in the middle of the spiritual heart is in the center. So exactly where.
See, that's what. See, it's very difficult to think about all this in a physical manner. When you right, left, and all that, we say it's it's more about a physical aspect, isn't it? But that's also equally true what you said. Somebody else also said that the spiritual heart is really at the center. You see, when you meditate also, you don't meditate on the right side. We always feel that in the center of the heart is that lotus. So that's also a very valid idea. And some places it's also spoken of, if the physical heart is this side, the spiritual heart is on the other side. Some people have also spoken. So, since we are following the method of our gurus, etc., and generally they ask us to meditate at the center of the heart, there's a blooming lotus. That's what generally we are advised. You can stick to that idea. These things are all shades of opinion, they do not matter much.
Also said that I live with every jiva in the heart.
Yeah.
The heart is in the center.
No, there he doesn't speak about the positioning. Na? Hridesya juna tishtati brahman sarvabhutani yantrarvanimaya. So he says, I am in the heart. The heart means inside the beings that way, as part of the personality, as part of our being. So we not worry so much about that position from the Gita point of view. But for our meditation, I think this is what our gurus and all advise, that you imagine a lotus in the center of your heart. And it's actually, and also again, no, it's not that you have to take a geometry box and figure out. It's not like that. You believe that, no, it's inside your heart. Then you don't even think so much about center or this or that. Everything else is kept aside. Only the awareness of that lotus, which is bloomed, and it's red colored. There, the Ishta Devata is there. That much. So it spreads the whole being that way. It's not that at the center there, at the left something is there, at the right something is there. It completely pervades the heart at that time. Yes.
Sitting quietly and taking but surrendering everything, every single action to Vedanta or Paramatma. Is that also called meditation? Can meditation be just not just? Should it be the part of the life? It should be the way of life.
Yeah, that's also a wonderful approach. It's possible. See, the point is, in these approaches, there is a presumption of God and His power and glory and all that. And then only how do you surrender, unless you have some idea about that God and that you're oriented towards Him or her. There's a deep sense of devotion. All that are all preconditions for surrender. So if you surrender, yes. If you do like that, definitely it's a way of life. But then there also to really feel that deep bliss, that awareness, one has to sit. One has to sit and. But then if you have practiced all these ideas of surrender, etc., then that quietude of the mind will be more spontaneously possible, because even when you sit, only you have to have that idea that I have surrendered, I'm constantly surrendering even now to God. So that way the mind would become quieter much faster, because There are not too many other cluttering ideas or thoughts in the mind. So the surrender is a great one of the methods. So he also talked about in the Naradi Bhakti Sutra. But bhakti, surrender is one aspect of bhakti. There are so many aspects of bhakti. Surrender is also part of that. Online, someone wants to ask? Yes.
I find it difficult to visualize. That's first part of the question. And the second part is, what can I do? Also, I do not have mantra diksha.
Yes, if you want to take mantra diksha, you can certainly take. It's possible. There are so many centers, so many of our monks. Where from he is? He's from London, England. You can tell wherever you are nearby, you can approach any center. They can even write to Ramakrishna Vedanta Center, Bourne, through email. It's possible to get diksha. That's not a problem. If the person wants, she can certainly have. Now, regarding visualization is definitely difficult for everybody. But it's a long process. The more and more you practice, the more and more the mind is cleared of all the cobwebs, impurities and all that. Why we are not able to have? Because our mind is already cluttered with so many other things. So unless it is, Sri Ramakrishna tells one of his devotees, I want to sit in your heart, but if it is full of kuda, impurities, dirt, how do I come there? So it's because of that. So it's a long process. One has to purify oneself, practice consistently. It's a multi-pronged approach through devotion, through study of scripture, the company of the holy, to do satsanga and keeping away from that which is not wanted. All that will culminate in a better visualization, better ability to meditate and all that.
This inside, that means to feel the oneness with the supreme power. Is that how you do?
It's all very good. Yes, one can say that, but then unless one practices and unless one is very serious and unless leads an intense life, it's even difficult to think of the ultimate goal and all. That'll all be only mere words. Yeah. If it goes into all pervading Brahman, it's wonderful. Why not? Very nice. Must have been practicing for a long time, possibly. But again, no one should understand clearly. Quite often, it can be, as she herself said, our Sindhu, it might be deceptive. Quite often, the mind conjures up so many other kinds of deceptive ideas. So even while this thing, that should not be mere imagination, that I have realized that all pervading Brahman. See, the point is, if the mind dives deep into that kind of all pervading Brahman very easily, that person, our spiritual evolution should clearly reflect in our life otherwise. If we are evolved in spiritual life, our very being will effuse, there'll be that kind of a aura about us, that calmness, that purity, that glow will be around that person. A person which can dive into Brahman so easily, does that person have that kind of an aura about him or her? And not only that, our life would be so beautiful to be free from all those which bother 99.99% of mankind, the desires, the pulls, the allurements, the attachments. See, unless all these are all seen, our spiritual realization has no meaning at all. I say I'm highly evolved, and at the drop of an hat, I get angry, jealousy, these, that, makes no sense. So the real proof is, how do we live otherwise? If you are spiritually evolved, does it reflect in every action of yours? The more evolved you are, the more wonderfully subtle will be your reactions, the way you talk, the way you behave. That's why Arjuna asked, Sita pragyasya ka bhasha, samadhi sasya keshava, sisadi kim prabhashit, kimasita vrajeta kim. How does, clearly, how does such a person behave? How does he walk? How does he talk? So otherwise, anybody can claim to be a Brahmagyani. But does it really show in their life? Is it not? Specifically, if one, Sri Maharaj also talked again and again about Ramana Maharshi. He was so free from the idea of body. He had a huge carbuncle in his forearm. So then doctors wanted to operate. It was a huge operation. And they had to give the anesthesia. Said, no need. He simply extended his arm. See, that kind of being not aware of the idea I am the body. Is it possible? Then, if you are a Brahmagyani, that's what would happen to such a person.
Sadhu was directly said to that I have realized. The moment you feel I have realized, it's not realization. That we always say.
No, I mean, a realized person need not go and tell. If you are realized, your very being will show that. You don't have to. That is the proof of realization is that very person. There is not. There is no certification or there is no degree or diploma or anything like that. You have realized, your very being will show. And it's very difficult for others to know also. That's what it's called Swasamvedya. Only the person who has realized knows. And if another person of that stature is there, you would be able to. See, when a person came to Dakshineshwar, he was hardly clothes on like that. Children were throwing stones at him. Blood was oozing. He came inside the temple. And when he chanted, Sri Ramakrishna is as if the roof will collapse. Such powerful was his chanting. And then he went and dogs were eating those leftovers and he pushed them aside and started eating from that. And the dogs did not show any kind of reaction or resistance. And then he went and took water from that nala, that drainage, and he drank it. And Thakur said, oh, here is a Brahmagyan here. Why would others say it's a mad person? That's what normally people would think. Because Thakur was Brahmagyan, you could immediately, spontaneously realize. Then I think Haladari probably something, they went after him to please give some Upodesha or something. And then he threw stones and stopped him. But then before going, he said, the day you feel that the water of Ganges and the water of the drainage are same, know that you have realized. It's not just saying by mouth. To take and drink, what kind of awareness must have been there? So one can say, but see, there are signs by which a person can be really recognized that way. Yes?
But you just said that when someone is realized, they become more subtle. Also, isn't the cheerfulness, someone who's cheerful, not the fake, but a truly cheerful person, isn't that a sign of like a complete dependence on God?
No, see, these are all, it's not that kind of cheer. It's the other way is true. If one has really touched the highest, there will be certain kind of that happiness, that contentment, all that would be reflected in that person's life. Many people are cheerful in this world. That doesn't mean that they have. See, the cheerfulness, how do we understand? Is it because you saw them smiling somewhere and talking sweetly to somebody? Is that what you mean by cheerfulness? The deep sense of contentment and the joy and happiness coming out of that experience is something different. It may not be even expressive that way. These are all very difficult to quantify, clearly say these are the signs and all that. See, they say the highest person knowledge is unmadavat, pishachavat. These are the descriptions they give. So it can be completely the other way, a person who is ghost-like and who is like mad. So It's very difficult. Normally, it's very, in the existential world, if we'll keep it smiling and all that, it may not mean anything. May not mean anything at all. But if a person has realized, then such person will be really so deeply contented within. He wouldn't need anything. He'd be satisfied with anything. So that kind of demeanor about him, always calm and always kind and always nice, these are all definitely because once the ties with the world are kind of cut asunder, then what does he need? So all our sorrow, sufferings, everything, they come from the world only. Na? The moment that we are a little above that, then obviously the very pattern of life changes completely. How many questions you have? Huh? What is that? Tell me. Huh?
They used to do
Ah.
single penance.
Ah.
But we have also seen that they have to like repeat when they have first. When they do severe penance and tapasya, is that same as meditation? Because in that case, the good deeds will not be in them. I'm just little confused.
You don't worry about them, they are no longer there. So why should you worry about them? But you see, a sadhaka and a realized soul are different. When you try to meditate, you will also, you don't get angry, you get angry very much. So that doesn't mean that you are realized. No. Once you have realized, that is different. Once you are in that state, then you go beyond all that. Because anger, all that are all things arising from the level of the mind, nothing beyond that. So when you go to that state which is beyond mind, where is the question of anger, hatred, jealousy, all that will go away. But during the time of sadhana, might be everyone who is having a beard is not a realized Rishi or Brahmagyani. The length of the beard is not the criterion. So you cannot say all that. So, and various reasons. So practitioners are different from realized souls. Yeah.
By listening to the overall and that most of the time it's correct, but if I think it's wrong. But personally, I feel like the Buddhi, of course, tells us this is right and this is wrong. But most of the cases, we are listening to the mind or carried away by the idea and struggling to do the right way. My question is how to strengthen Buddhi or maybe the higher mind.
Yes.
We can listen to that.
See, this is, yeah, he says, we understand, we hear, but then we are not able to practice. What is to be done? Practice. You see, the point is, if we say we know, we must have the tremendous resolve, courage. See, anything if you want to do in life, supposing you want to go to the next stage in your career, how much there are targets, there are other qualifications, there are so many marks, so many these, that, then only you get it. So how do you think that spiritually will also just like the drop of an hat we get it? So you have to spend tremendous amount of time in a very dedicated way, in a very dogged way. See, it's far more difficult than any achievement on earth because here everything we achieve using the indriyas, your mind and intellect and all that, which are all to certain extent, at least we can exercise, see how they are, where they are going, how they are operating. We have some control. But if you go beyond that, to function at that level, how much more determination is required? How much more? So, the whole point is, are we really serious? If you are serious, you would start behaving. That is why I think I wanted to start with that. Somehow I forgot. Nice you reminded. See, unless we develop a certain amount of world weariness, nothing will happen. People might say many comforting things, you do this also, that also, everything will be taken, nothing will be taken care of. Are you tired? Do you feel that enough, 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 no more? Are we tired of the world? The moment we go out, we are so happy to immediately participate in something else. So, unless there is a world weariness, tired of the world, no more, had enough, 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 what is there? Again and again, quite often I ask, such things. What have you done? You are, say, 60 years old. Maybe 1000 kgs of potato you have consumed. So, what have we achieved? You tell me. Every day, get up, same routine, morning to night. Today's potal, tomorrow is aloo, third day some other sabji, or some vegetarian, or non-vegetarian, or sweet, or this, or that. See, the whole thing is catering to the body, pampering it. This, day after day for 50 years, 60 years, 70 years we do. Then we die. Are we tired? Oh, it's enough. No more. That a little of that world weariness, unless that comes and really hits us hard, this life is gone in vain. What have we achieved really? Then when you are intense that way and you start practicing, all that would come. It's possible. Most of us we suffer from that because we are ready to live with all inconsistencies, incongruities, and illogicalities in our life. You know the world is unreal, but immediately we outside go and plan, scheme, do this, that, everything we are ready. Then how is it possible? So somewhere we should, unless if it strikes us very powerfully, then certainly we'll start taking steps in that direction. Age, no bar, it does not mean one is a little above, once you cross that age, when you're absolutely a child, that is different. Maybe from the age of, see, many of the great people, they all achieved. Swamiji, when he got Nirvikalpa Samadhi, he was 21, 22, like that. So, anything after, say, the age of 20 or so, it's definitely one can get a little more serious into spiritual life. It's all possible. One need not start with the stick and tottering and not able to even walk. Nothing is possible at that time. Because, when the body and mind, when you're young, they're relatively strong. It's possible to control. After that, you can't control anything. You need diapers, you need this, you need that. And your whole life is completely in the hands of others. Then what can you do? So when one is strong relatively, one has to take it up very serious. Yes, Sangeeta.
Says the fight to complete rest is the same thing that we're talking about.
Yeah. I mean, yes, it's all Gita. Gita says Abhyasa and Vairagya. So Thakur also says again and again about so many places, not exactly in the same vein, but then about practice, about Vairagya. Everybody, all scripture, everywhere it clearly says Vairagya first. So important. Dissatisfaction. I wouldn't even say giving up completely. That's Tyaga. Even this atripti, aruchi for this world, dissatisfaction, weariness. Oh, enough, enough. I'm tired of this. That kind. If you honestly feel deep within, then that can set in motion any spiritual pursuit. I think we are through, Maharaj. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Jai Shri Guru Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Mahamai Ki Jai. Jai Swamiji Maharaj Ki